So do you also work from here as well? And I guess it'd be worth broaching the topic of what do you actually do for a living? For some people, for them, they don't want any extended family around.
Yeah, but I still not do the rice because it's not my type.
This is the way it is here. Like, yeah, you need to. If you don't take part, then you're going to get frustrated or annoyed or whatever like that. And
when you first met Chris, did you think that it was going to be a long-term thing? Do you think it could end up in marriage? When you first met, did you think he would be a farmer?
No.
You have to be friendly, otherwise you're going to end up getting in problems with people.
Because a lot of people, they asking me like, how is Falang, they call Falang, how is Falang can living in Isan, it's hot, how can they eat this food, how can they stay here longer?
What would you say you spend monthly? Do you track it quite rigorously, or what do you love about Chris?
I think also I quite like that she puts up with the crazy because,
And it's quite close to an English pub, I'm told. I imagine this is a place where many of the Sisaket expats know already. Today I'm in Sisaket, around 2.5 hours from where I am in Buriram. Some of you may know it. It's a rural Thailand province out here. I'm going to be talking today with a younger couple. Many of you have asked me for some younger couples on the channel, and so I've been speaking to a number all around Thailand actually. And one of the names that came up is Chris and X, that have set up their little farm out here in the rural Sisaket, and it is very rural. As you can see here from the drone, it is surrounded by rice fields. So we're going to be having a look around their place, hearing a bit about their story, and asking some questions of how they live here long term and how they're finding the experience of living out here in rural Thailand. Thanks as ever for coming along on the journey. You know, we've talked to a number of different expats from all around Thailand, and every story is unique and different, is what I'm finding out through doing this series. And I really do appreciate your support of those that have liked and subscribed to the channel to follow this journey, because it is your viewership that makes these vlogs possible. So let's go and talk to Chris and X. So Chris and X, thanks for inviting me today. And by the way, these guys gave me a traditional Isan welcome. The first thing that happened when I arrived was I was offered lao khao.
Oh yeah.
So all the family greeted me and cooked some fantastic food that you can see here. They did some duck, and I think the duck actually comes from this farm. In fact, I think that all the stuff prepared that they see here, it all comes from the farm, right? Is that right?
Yeah, I think it was pretty much most of the ingredients. The ducks came just over there, so they were preparing them this morning, but then a lot of the herbs and the rice and other stuff comes from here, right?
Yes.
I think, yeah.
So I guess I'll start with, how long have you, Chris, been in Thailand?
I've been here about 16 years. I came out first time just for like a 3-month trial period. I took a break from work because I thought I wanted to come and stay here, but needed to test it out first. So 3 months I was traveling around and went to Laos and Vietnam, Cambodia, and then I went back home and then just cleared all my stuff, sold my car, finished up with my job, got a bit more money together, and then I came out. So then since then, that's been, I think, about 16 years now. So
it's a long time, and across multiple locations as well, so not just here in rural Sisaket.
So multiple locations. I was in, I started scuba diving, first in Koh Tao, and then I moved over to Khao Lak about 3-4 years later. And because Khao Lak, it's near Phuket, it's more seasonal, so 6 months working and then 6 months people do different things. And I took, early on, I took 6 months to go and stay in Bangkok to learn Thai. I went and did Thai classes there every day. So whilst I was there, I met X when she was working in a salon, and I had those 6 months there, and we spent a lot of time hanging out together, got to know each other a lot more. And so that was about 12 years ago, I think.
Yeah, it's nearly.
Yeah,
12 years.
12
Same
yeah.
me and my wife.
Then I had to go back to work down south, and we stayed in contact. We went on holiday sometimes. Met you in Koh Samui, then eventually it's like, oh, would you want to come down and stay in Khao Lak as well? So then she quit her job and moved and stayed in Khao Lak. So we've been together since then.
And at some point you decided to leave Khao Lak and come out here to rural Sisaket. X, this is your hometown, right? Sisaket, is that right? You're from Sisaket?
Yes.
And so how do you feel to be back here, living back here? Do you miss Khao Lak? Do you miss Bangkok, where you had the salon and things like that? How are you finding it?
For Khao Lak, it's good for me to go because, Isan people, our dream is we want to see the sea, So when I when he invites me to go and living in there, I still don't know what I have to do in there. So we just go in there, and then one day he just tell me the idea. You wanna do the salon or nail stuff in there? So we just try to do. It's quite good thing to do in there. Yeah, but then one day the COVID coming, then we move to stay here, and he just tell me try to do something in here. That's why we got this thing. And then when we got this thing, I grow the tree by myself. I do something in here, and then I don't think I miss Khao Lak or Bangkok. I think I like to stay in here. It's quite good.
Chris told me at first you weren't quite sure about doing the farming and that kind of thing, but then after you start to love it. Is that right?
Yeah, because when I born in here, I had to work in the farm. It's hot. It's not my style. I just don't like it. He told me a long time ago to try to do this. I said, no, I don't want to live in the farm. I want to live somewhere quite good. I don't want to live in here. But when we start doing here, and then yeah.
You love it?
Yeah.
I can tell you love it. I can see already that you love it.
And when I do the tree, and I see them, I grow by my hand. I see them every year. They grow by themselves, and then I feel like good to see something. I done some good job by myself.
And is there nothing you miss about Khao Lak or the city? Like, because out here there's not much. I don't think there's even 7-Eleven close to here, right?
In here for us, I don't think it's difficult for us to go to the town, because in this area it's not so far for me. I think about 10 kilometers because we have the car, we can go there. It's easy, not so much traffic also. But if I live in Khao Lak, I only come back home 1 year, 1 time or 2 times.
So, but here you get to spend more time with family too, right?
Yeah, but I still not do the rice because it's not my type.
And how are you finding it so far, Chris? Because obviously it's a change of pace from Khao Lak, from Bangkok out here. It seems like we've talked off camera a little bit. It seems like you've pretty much got very comfortable here. And how are you finding the remoteness? And do you think it's somewhere like long term for you?
Yeah, I do. I really like it here. Like, so it's kind of. This kind of thing was my idea to get it started. Like, I was quite interested in like permaculture and regenerative farming and that kind of stuff, and I'd kind of thought about it for a long time and wanted to do it. So now we've got the chance to like put it into action. Like, yeah, as X is saying, like every year you see it grow more and more. It's really like rewarding. I'm happy by myself a lot of the time, so I've got my little man cave and stuff in there. I've got Xbox and TV, and so yeah, I can go and visit friends sometimes in other places, but like I'm quite happy here. I like it here. Is
there anything you find really challenging? So quick shout out to our video sponsors today, Saley's eSIM. This is something genuinely useful if you're planning on traveling to Thailand anytime soon or anywhere else in the world. If you're in the middle of planning a trip and you don't want the hassle of buying a local SIM card, I highly recommend Saley's eSIM. An eSIM is a SIM that's built into your phone, so you don't have to constantly switch SIM cards when you're out and about traveling. It's going to save you money on expensive roaming fees and keep you connected even when there's no Wi-Fi. Simply download the Saley app and choose your plan, and you're instantly connected with unlimited data in over 190 countries. The app is super easy to use. You can manage your data, share your hotspot, and even get 24/7 customer support. What's more is they have a very flexible refund policy, so you're covered if things don't go as planned. Personally, I can't count the number of times where I've been stuck with no Wi-Fi and I needed to contact friends or arrange a ride, and Saley's eSIM is perfect for this kind of situation. So if you're traveling and you want a seamless, instant connection, skip the local SIM cards and go with Saley's eSIM. Get an exclusive 15% discount on Saley's eSIM. You can use my code word at checkout, that's Naked Guru. Download the app or go to www.saley.com/nakedguru. All of that is in the pinned comment and the description below for you. So far, have you found anything that's particularly challenging, living out here? If you had to put your finger on something that has been quite difficult or is quite difficult?
I think it's a different style of doing things out here. Like, okay, getting stuff built, getting jobs done. It's not kind of to the same standard as you'd expect, like maybe in the UK or somewhere. Like it's hard to get things done, especially when it's like, so a lot of the houses and stuff around here, it's the families and stuff, they just build it themselves. So you can hire builders, but then the cost goes up a lot more. So then it's kind of trying to find that balance of like, oh, well, what are people here capable of doing well, or what is it that maybe they say they can do well, but then it ends up not so great. So we're going to go and visit the house. I really want to show you around the farm, but we're going to go and just visit the house first. This is not the first version of the house. Several others have fallen down.
Right, let's go and take a look then. Okay. Perfect. And how many rye is it here in total?
Our permaculture farm is about 4 rye, but the direct family own like another 6 here, and we bought another 6 there. But then it's kind of like extended family that own all around here as well. So it's 4 and then 16 in total, and then family.
X is your childhood home when you grew up as a kid. Mm-hmm. Is it here? Or is it in a different location?
Different location. It's about 3 kilometers from here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, another village, not this village.
Okay, so you didn't grow up here on this little area, this farm.
When I'm young, we always stay in the farm because dad and mom need to work here every day with the rice season, because like all year, only I go to school. I don't need to come to the farm.
As you can see here, this is the communal area, so you got the extended family here. This is where we just ate as well, so they prepared the duck and all the food. Sawadee krap. All the family are here. So what a reception. This is your communal area. On a day-to-day basis, Chris, is this where you would spend most of your time, or?
Me personally, I've got my own little private space. So it's like I come out here when it's hungry, when we drink food, whatever. But like this is where everybody else is. So, and I think that's what, like, the kitchen is probably the most important part of a Thai house. Like on the farm, it's like food is vital. There's regularly a lot of people here, and there's always some food on the go as well. So it's quite good because I'm a big fan of the Thai food. So whenever I come out, there's always something to eat. We've got, this is about half the space of the whole house, and then there's 2 rooms, 4 meters each. This is where most people are. But then I can show you where I've got like my office and private area as well.
And were you involved in the building of this, or was it already here when you arrived?
No, this was new. So what I'm saying about like stuff falling down before, we sort of tried to build, the roof came first because we wanted somewhere just that we could stay in the day whilst we were sort of doing stuff on the farm. So just a bit of shade and somewhere to cook and stuff like that. Yeah. So we built over where we started. We built us as the family built a roof structure out there with the bamboo thatch roof. And just before it finished, a big storm comes in and the whole thing blows down. So we tried it again and it blew down again. So for this place we actually hired some builders and stuff as well, so a little team came in, we'd had the roof up for a while already. I think that was probably about 70,000 baht to get this whole roof structure in, which is like 16 meters long. And then we were living in this to start with. This is our
looks like one I've got. So you're in the bamboo hut to begin with, right? Got some bananas on the go there.
And then later, just for a bit more comfort, then underneath the roof we built a house.
And on a day-to-day basis, is it usually so busy? Like, is it always quite bustling here, or is it usually just like X's mum and dad, or?
Most days it's probably just the like ex-mum and dad and that, but like it's pretty common for friends and family to come over. And also because it's like, because of the farming being quite communal, like everyone helps out on each other's farms, there's regularly reason to be here. And like if the family are working on their farms in all the surrounding area, it's like this is a nice place to hang out and get a bit of shade and relax or whatever. So it's pretty common that there's people here.
Because one quite common phenomenon I find with expats, and you'll see this on the forums, sometimes it's people I speak to, sometimes it's people local to my village, they often build very large walls to kind of keep extended family members out. And in fact, it's a gripe of some people that have not fully Well, I mean, people have different temperaments and personalities, right? So for some people, for them, they don't want any extended family around. You seem very, I mean, I'm quite comfortable with my mother-in-law, and you seem quite comfortable with, because we're just eating all together. This is quite normal for you. So I don't see that very often with foreigners. It's something that you've come to really just accept as part of life and enjoy, or?
I think if you don't accept it, it is much harder. So yeah, it's just, this is the way it is here. Like, yeah, you need to, if you don't take part, then you're going to get frustrated or annoyed or whatever like that. And yeah, it's like, we for a while we also lived in the house in the village, in the centre of the village, and like X's dad here, who was the Puyai Ban of the village as well. Yeah. So like the bedroom that we had was, you know, with they do the news every morning. It was like 5-6 o'clock in the morning with blaring speakers to the village. Well, because he's the one doing the news, that speaker was at our window. So like, yeah, that was loud. So it's like in that kind of case, when it's like, when sleep is difficult, then I get annoyed. But like this kind of thing, this is great. Like, and it's just, well, it's part of life here. So yeah.
And I think a good testament to your integration here is the fact that you've learnt Thai as well. And that allows you to communicate with people that you wouldn't otherwise be able to if you only spoke English. So that been helpful for you in the process?
Yeah. So I'm not perfect by any means with Thai, but it's kind of enough to get by, especially when it comes to food and stuff. Like, I think food is probably the main topic of conversation on a daily basis. I'd say that's what get talked about most. So if you can talk about food, then you're all right. I think I'm better at listening than I am at speaking, because I have to listen to X all day. So yeah.
Does X talk to you in Thai or in English?
She talks a lot to me in Thai, and then I talk back in English. So it kind of gets mixed, but yeah.
I speak Isan to him also.
So sometimes she's speaking Isan to him.
Words and Isan and English.
Yeah, in the same sentence.
Perfect.
Like, yeah.
Okay, so this is also part of the new construction.
Yeah.
You put some air conditioning in here.
Yeah.
You got a big enough TV.
Yeah. No problems. So I've got like creature comforts or whatever. I've got what I need. So movies, computer games, and then just like little workstation over there. So this is all I need, you know. And also like so these rooms, they're 4x4 meters. The bedroom is the same size. Yeah. It's the aircon's more efficient and cheaper to run in a small room. It's easier to keep clean, and it's like if there's loads of stuff going on out there and I kind of can't be bothered, then come in here, shut the door, and stick the TV on or whatever. So yeah, it's like, I know it's like I think when you first come in, it looks like, oh wow, it's like all Thai culture. You're all like fully integrated. It's like, yeah, but I can still come in here and shut the door
into your Western box.
Yes, exactly.
And so do you also work from here as well? And I guess it'd be worth broaching the topic of what do you actually do for a living? Like, how do you earn money to stay in Thailand? And is it something that you've always done?
No, so it's changed. So for that time when I was down south, I was earning the money from scuba diving, like trip leading the liverboards and managing the shop and stuff like that. So my main salary and then work permit and visa and everything came from there. But then when we moved up here, things had to change a little bit. Well, and also COVID changed everything. I mean, I lost my job, so I had to change. But like some of the people I worked with, the guy Nico from Germany, he got me a job with a company he was working for in online marketing. So it's like I'd learned a bit about website design whilst I was working for the dive shop, but then like sort of up to a game a little bit to then go into that after COVID. So now I can like work remotely, and I do some work for like other Thai companies as well, for online marketing stuff. So I'm trying to get more stuff going on in Thailand as well. But yeah, so it's kind of it's wherever I can earn money. And yeah, like I'm trying to start up YouTube and stuff now as well, but we'll see how that goes.
Well, they have a channel, I'll be linking it below. And so do you find it quite consistent work though for the German company?
I worry that it's not the most stable thing, and with AI on the way as well, like, I mean, I'm now using it on a daily basis, and like at the level it's at the moment, it's both increased like the speed and quality of work that I can do, but then very much aware of the fact that it's going to do more and more of my jobs, that at some point it's going to be able to do all of them, and then you don't need me anymore. And I think a lot of people, I'm not sure how many people are really considering what's coming, but I think this is going to be a big change.
And so right now you also have a company structure, which you obviously work here in Thailand, and so you have a work permit for that, and you issue your visa through the company. How have you found that process, and is it something you plan to continue doing, for the long term?
The process has actually been really, really good. Like, there's a lot of paperwork you need to do, and X does most of the paperwork herself. But like at the immigration in Sisaket, they're really helpful and really friendly. So it's been very smooth to do all of that. But yeah, I mean, it's quite it is a bit expensive to try and make it profitable, and yeah, there's challenges with it. So we are looking at other options, and it's like now we've been together for so long, and like they changed the LGBT marriage laws that only came into effect in February this year. Yeah. So now that's a potential option. So like I went to go and speak to some lawyers, and sort of just the whole structure of life here with like works, relationships, land, all of that stuff, like what's the best way to link it all together. And I'm not exactly sure what we're going to do yet, but it definitely seems like there's some more like viable options with that now. So.
And did you mention you would be the first couple in Sisaket? And so they were quite supportive of it as well, right?
The lady that helps out in immigration there, it's like, because she's aware of all these costs we have to pay. So like the last time we renewed it was in February, around when there was all this news of the new laws and stuff, and she's like, oh yeah, you should just get married, like I'm happy to help you out and everything. So like, yeah, we'd full support from immigration to do it. So yeah.
And for the LGBT laws, how long has that been legal now? Is it a new thing?
Yeah, pretty new. So I think it was made official last year, but it's not until it gets published in, what is it, the Royal Gazette? Like then it's official and goes into. So that was in February this year.
Okay.
So yeah.
And you've always found, like I always find, Thailand is such an open-minded country, comfortable to live, and now I guess it's being brought into law as well. It's just another representation of how open-minded Thailand is, right?
Yeah, I think so. It's like, I think there's still challenges for certain people. I think particularly like, say in Bangkok, then I think people still face a bit of discrimination, maybe in the workplace and stuff like that. But like day to day, like just out on the streets or whatever, like going to, there's no, everyone is super friendly. Like you never face any problems at all. Like everyone's just so nice. It's great.
Especially from Thais.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like, so I mean, I did some social media stuff in Thai language because, their comments are always much friendlier. I was kind of a little bit worried about doing this today because Western comments aren't necessarily the same, but yeah, we'll see.
Your channel as well, since you brought it up, what does your channel kind of cover? What do you focus on? Is it the building the project, the lifestyle element? What is your channel about? Again, I said I'll link it below as well, so you can check out and subscribe to Chris and X's channel. And maybe not so much now, but for the future, what do you plan with it?
I want to show what we're doing with like the farm, but not only us. Like, I mean, I've started to meet other people here doing like organic farming and farm stays, and they sort of want to promote like agritourism and sustainable tourism and things like that. I'm really interested in that. It's like, after working in the tourism industry for quite a long time, I think there's some room for improvement, and I think that there's probably a growing demand for like agritourism, sustainable tourism, and community-based tourism as well. Like, I think I understand why people want to go to the beach or go to the mountains in Chiang Mai, but like I think for certain type of travelers that are really interested in food and culture, then this area is really rich in it. I think it just doesn't have the infrastructure right now. It's like it's quite hard to travel around as a tourist. Yeah, so ta-da! We've got, this is a microscope. So I've been learning online course. It's Dr. Elaine Ingham's Soil Food Web course. So it's kind of like the basics of soil biology, and then they teach you how to make compost and like then extracts and liquids and stuff that you can use to apply it. Yeah, if you can get a diverse group of organisms back into the soil, then it's the best way to grow plants because they've got like symbiotic relationship with the plants. So yeah, I'm doing the foundation course at the moment, of which the final part is learning how to identify the different organisms under the microscope, and then I'm going to carry on and do the practical parts of the course, of which the first one will be their methods of making compost and stuff. So that's definitely one of the things I'd like to talk about. Like, once I actually start to apply it, I'd like to show it from the start, because I think that's one thing I want to show, that it's like, I had no experience of farming or anything before, but like, there's so much information now on YouTube or on the internet or whatever that I think anyone could do it. So I think I kind of want to show, like, well, if I can do it, then like anyone could. So yeah, that's definitely one of the topics that I'd like to talk about.
So X, when you first met Chris, did you think that it was going to be a long-term thing? Do you think that it could end up in marriage? Because Chris is saying maybe sometime soon you may be able to get married.
Yeah, no, before I don't think so.
You don't think
Yeah,
so?
I don't think we will stay longer.
Yeah. You look like a farmer now, Chris.
Yeah,
This is really blending in.
sunscreen is good, but just staying out of it is better.
And X, are you surprised with that Chris, that he likes it out here? Because, you know, a lot of Farang, they prefer to be in the city and, you know, not out here in the rural areas where it's quieter. Are you surprised? Because he seems to love it a lot, no?
Yeah, I'm not really surprised, because I know in their country is they never seen something like this, but for art we seen something like this already.
Yeah.
And then when he see this style, this area, and then he maybe it's good news thing for him, something.
When you first met, did you think he'd be a farmer?
No, no. But when he want to start to do this, I just tell him first. The first time, I just say, if you wanna do this, you must to do by yourself. You must to do this. You must to learn how to live in here. You must to be farmer or farm people. Yeah.
Well, your family must be happy though, because they're farmers.
Yeah.
And then you met a farmer, and now he's a farmer too. And now you're a farmer too.
Yeah, but yeah, it's good for him too.
And your family, they get on with Chris, like they're very, very social with Chris. He can speak a bit of Thai too, so that's good, no?
Yeah. Before he can't speak Thai so much, but now he speak quite a lot.
Yeah.
It's easy for them talk together sometimes. Yeah.
So yeah, they get on well now.
Yeah.
Drink Lao Khao together. And he does drink the Lao Khao too. You've really integrated.
Yeah.
You're drinking Lao Khao. I notice you've got a solar array here as well, Chris. So this is actually, is it just powering a pump for the rice field, or?
It's powering the pump, but for the lake. So yeah, I showed the pump's just over there, and then you'll see it coming in and here. I mean, we don't need it at the moment because it's been raining so much, but like, yeah, through the middle of like the dry season, the water level drops quite a lot, so it's good to keep it topped up. But then they can use the water here also then to water the chilies, or if we need to, like the overflow can go into this field here for the rice.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't really talk about the costs of everything, so it's like that. This solar setup with the pump was like 45,000 baht, and yeah, the house was about 400,000, I think.
So this is 400,000 for the kitchen, and then you've got like 2 rooms, your man cave and a bedroom, right?
Yeah.
So the dog's just having a little bath here, and to be honest, it's so hot I might join him. So this is your duck farm, right?
Yeah, we've got ducks and turkeys, and well, there's one chicken left from after the dog attacks. That's a problem here that maybe we could just mention. That's why we got our own dogs, to try and keep others away.
Really?
Yeah.
This is Neighbours' dogs coming in, eating the chicken.
Yeah. I mean, you get like packs of them here, so it's like they kind of belong to someone, but they're also kind of wild as well, and they roam around as a pack. And like, yeah, sometimes, I mean, we had most of our birds killed overnight or whatever, so it's like, yeah, it's another cost then, was making sort of better and better quality enclosures and stuff to keep the dogs out. And it's like, even sometimes when we've done like the metal grate welded round, like you see they're ripping them off, that they can even get, so it's I didn't realize how big a problem that would be, but it's cost us a lot of money to try and prevent that from happening. So yeah, unexpected cost.
You've put in a giant, would it class as a lake? It's a lake, it looks like a moat or something. It's like a big horseshoe shaped water body, right? Did you have all this dug out and did you install it, or was it already here?
So the good thing is that this is already a known model in Thailand. So they call it the Kok Nong Na model, which means mound, like small lake or marsh, and then rice fields. So it's like the different levels. So it's like where the rice fields are like designed to hold water. It's like you dig out and then raise up some of the land so that this doesn't flood, and then you've got your lake. And it's so there's and that model was like promoted by the old king as well. So it was meant to be like a self-sufficiency lifestyle. So there's companies that you can just hire, and you like in our case gave them like a design of the shape that we wanted, and they were pretty good. It's like looks almost exactly like the drawing that we came up with.
It's beautiful from the drone view as well. It's really epic when you see it from the sky like this. Do you have to top up the water? Because it's the rainy season now, so it's full. But during the hot season, do you have to top it up or not?
Yes, we do. Yeah, so that's what that solar panel and the pump is to keep this topped up from 40 meters below. And I think like the whole of Isan is on one huge so we've never had an issue with I mean, maybe one day the level will lower, but for us it's been fine.
And so if somebody wanted to put in a lake like this, what would you say is the cost?
So this size, you might have to work out the equation. It's 4 rai, and this was about 100,000 baht to dig out the lake. And it's just over 4 years now. So like everything you see, all of these trees and stuff, it's 4 years old. So like I'm quite surprised how quickly it grows, and it's like really rewarding to watch it all grow.
It's to provide water year round for the plants and things like that you're farming, right?
Yeah. I mean, to have a water source. So the self-sufficiency model that was promoted by the king, he called it 30-30-30-10. It was 30 water for a lake, 30% for like other crops and vegetables, 30% rice, and then 10% for your house and maybe animals and stuff like that. So that was the model that they promoted. So this lake is about 30% of the overall, and it's just the water supply, and also there's loads of fish and stuff in there as well. So there's another food source. It's supposed to be like self-sufficiency lifestyle.
And do you have to restock it with the fish? You take the fish and you eat the fish, do you have to restock it, or is it now on a cycle where the fish are reproducing? And
it depends on what species. I mean, X, you'll be able to give a bit more information than me. Like,
how does it work for the fish, X? You always got fish all year round that you can eat, or?
Yeah. So now about 4 years already, the fish is quite big already, but they still have the, baby, get the egg. So like circle.
Yeah.
You take the big one, they still have the medium size, have the smaller size, have baby, and and our lake is quite big also. Some fish we still can't find them,
They're hiding.
They're hiding, and deep water, they are living, some area is deep, so maybe our fish, some fish is quite big size already. But we spend quite a lot also with the fish
to stock
in the
them
first time,
the
first time.
That's cool. And I guess not many people around here have a lake like this.
They normally people they just make the lake like square, style, just for the fish. When the rice grow and have some water for the fish, they come out from another area. Then when the water come down after the rice, they got yellow. So fish they will go find somewhere to live. So that's why some people in here they just make some lake for like catch the fish after rice. After rain season. Yeah,
same in Buriram where we are. Obviously, one of the main questions that will be asked probably at this point is, what about mosquitoes?
It's not too bad really. Sometimes I think like we have more of a mosquito problem when the rice fields are flooded, when you've got like stagnant water and stuff there. But like here, well, first of all, the fish eat a load of the eggs. We've got loads of stuff like there's dragonflies there, and they're known for eating loads of mosquitoes. So most of the time there's really not a problem with mosquitoes. But some time of the year they're a bit of a pain, but I wouldn't think of it as a big problem.
You got your turkeys in here as well. There they all go. We have a lot of turkeys on our farm. I guess you don't eat the eggs, but do you eat the turkeys, right?
Yeah, sometimes. We haven't had it that many times, but like we tried like the larb dish we had today, tried it with turkey sometimes, and then get everyone else to taste it, and people really like it. So the guy trying to offer you lao cow, he's took a few of ours and he's growing them now. So I think once people got a taste of them, they quite like it now.
Well, I couldn't find anybody to slaughter my turkeys because the Thai said they're too beautiful. It would be like killing a peacock or something. You ever had that problem?
No.
Well, you've got uncle, and I need a lao cow uncle.
Yeah, he's good at doing those kind of jobs, and no problem. I mean, I've had those conversations with. It's difficult for me because I've never been this close to meat when it's alive, and it's like, you know, it makes you think about it for sure. When you're that close to the animals, it's like, well, you're suddenly face to face with it. So it's I've thought about it, like, and I have like slaughtered a duck once or twice just because I felt like I should, but like I don't like it.
Yeah, the moral issue is like, because I also have done the turkey, and then my wife didn't talk to me for a few days. But I felt it's our responsibility, if we're going to eat the meat, to also kind of honour the meat and do the make it quick, you know. But then afterwards, I thought maybe I should just go vegetarian after this, because it's not something I want to do completely. And why should I put that on somebody else? And the Buddhist way is, it's okay if somebody else killed it. You're just eating it, so no bad juju, no bad karma.
Yeah, no, it's. I don't know. I've thought about sometimes I've tried being vegetarian for a while. Yeah, I mean I'm still thinking about it. Maybe my diet changes one day, but yeah, it's. I mean, I really like the animals, so it does. Yeah, I don't know. But then, like, I talk to other people here, and it's like, oh, do you ever feel like? How do you feel about it? Like one of X's friends, and she's like, no, they're food, and just laughs it off or whatever. And it's like, yeah, it's like, I guess, yeah, if you've got that attitude, it's fine. It's just, I don't know. I'm conflicted.
X, have you killed a duck yet, or not? Or you killed a turkey or chicken?
Turkey now, chicken I do before, and ducks. Yeah, I can, but turkey is too big for me. I feel feel bad or sad. I just think no.
It's too scary?
No, I'm not. Just because I don't know. I take care of them every day when they're young until they got bigger size. So
you feel bad?
Not mean very bad. Just feel like, no, I don't want to do, but I still can eating. Yeah.
I think like me and Chris too, it's the same problem. Like, you gotta eat, and if you eat it, you should be able to do the full job. But then when it comes to do it, when you look after it and you feed it,
but I don't want to kill.
Yeah.
I can eat. I don't want to kill.
So you have another enclosure here that's not being used. Or is it being used? This enclosure is for the ducks. Okay, so you got a duck enclosure here, and then you have like a fenced off garden here. What's going down there?
So this is the problem that we had with the ducks before, when we had probably too many. Like you can see, most places you've got loads of grass growing around the banks, and like when we first started it, we planted like a lot of grasses that have the long roots to hold everything together to stop it from like collapsing. So in most places it's okay, but where the ducks eat and just clear the grass, this bank is just eroding further and further, and I left it too long. Like these trees that are now hooked up by a rope, they were in the water. It was like parallel to the water, and it was like, we've got to save them. So I had to get 10 trucks worth of dirt, which is quite cheap around here. It's like 200 baht a truck or something. So 10 trucks of dirt that they delivered over here, and then got all these bamboo posts stuck in, and then just hired a few people to come in and fill it all in. So we kind of had to rebuild the bank, and now we've protected it so the ducks can't get in there anymore. And then X has just gone and planted loads of different stuff in here. So like long term, that'll probably start to break, but if we get enough stuff growing in the ground again, then hopefully that should keep it safe. But yeah, these trees were nearly gone.
Yeah. Just collapsing in.
Yeah.
And so it keeps you fit and healthy though, this kind of lifestyle, doesn't it?
Yes, yeah. I mean, I get involved sometimes, but not all the time. And it's like sometimes there's more to do than other times. And like, yeah, X is still doing most of the planting as well. And it's like, I think from the stuff that we've planted over the years, it's like you plant stuff, some of it dies, so then you replant where there's holes, and then some of that dies, and you just keep planting and planting and planting. But then kind of you get to know more different species of trees, like going around different garden centres and this and that. So it's like it's probably a good way that it happened, because it's just got more and more diverse as we've sort of learnt a bit more and tried different things. And it's like the sizes of trees and stuff. So like this one here is one of the newest trees. This is acacia, and it's absolutely shoots up, whereas stuff that's been in the ground much longer, like 3-4 years, is kind of lagging behind. So it's like if you're trying to regenerate a place, you start to get to know which species can kind of help, like earlier on, like in succession. It's like which ones will improve the soil so that you can then plant something else later.
You talked a little bit about self-sustainability as well. Is the ultimate goal to be like fully self-sustainable?
Yeah, I mean, maybe I think it's just to keep increasing it and see how far we can get. Because I think the community is really important as well. And so if like other people are growing other things, I'm not going to refuse buying their products and stuff as well. So I think that's good. But as much as we can grow here, I would like to. But it's like we focused on the trees to start with because they take the longest. So we're not really producing that much food, well, hardly any food at the moment. But I definitely want to one day, and especially as I learn more about like this composting and the soil biology, then I think I'll be more capable of growing like organic vegetables and fruits and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, I should probably say like what we're going to do is we're going to tour around the outside of the lake, but we've kind of left the middle area clear so that one day we'll be able to develop that. So all the focus has just been on kind of trying to create a beautiful natural environment, but that one day we've got like a prime location bang in the middle of it that we'll be able to do something with, which I haven't.
So that's the dream, is maybe to build your house and your living and live there in the middle of the island, right?
I don't know if it'll be a house or maybe like I quite like sharing it, so I want people to see it. So I thought maybe a homestay or maybe a restaurant. I keep changing my mind, but my current thought is to do an English pub and do fish and chips and stuff like that. But
The Red Lion.
Yeah, exactly, that kind of hanging wooden sign and yeah, all that kind of stuff. But well, the reason I think that is that, like, you know, Khao Yai, where they've got all those like European village resorts and stuff like that.
Horrible.
Yeah, but people love it. Thai people love them.
People love it. The Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Hey, look, we'll get to it when we get in the middle. Then I'll show you. Then.
And about your monthly cost, I always ask this to everybody anyway. What do you spend per month? I mean, obviously people are interested because they think about coming living out here, and sometimes it differs a little bit province to province. But I think it's a lifestyle thing. What would you say you spend monthly? Do you track it quite rigorously, or?
I don't track it very much. Well, other than knowing it's like sort of how much money's coming in, and I usually spend most of it. I reckon it's probably like 50,000-60,000 a month, but that's includes many like unexpected costs. It's like just for the food and the bills and whatever is cheap, but like this thing with the ducks here, that cost about 15,000 baht, and it's not something I wanted to spend the money on. And it's like, so there's always some surprise. So maybe say I spend 20 to 30 a month on just life, there'll be another 20 to 30 that something else comes up. So yeah, this is still costing money, you know.
Yeah, your base costs 20-30, but then when you're developing an area and you're putting trees in, you're doing landscaping, you're hiring people to help with the work from some time, this is what really adds up. You're setting a long-term base for retirement, and so it's about 40 to 50, you say, which I think is quite consistent with the people that I talk to on the channel.
Yeah, I think it's about that. I think it's roughly that. But then where it's quite good and quite fun as well is that, like, so because this like planting all the trees has become kind of a hobby, that we're spending our money on that thing, whereas we might have been spending it on something else. So like we have now, I think we know every single garden centre in the area now. So we'll go out and get a coffee and buy a few trees and stuff like that. So it's like a day out. So we end up coming back with some more stuff that we can plant, but then it's like fun activities as well. So it's just like it's just the way of life now, I guess. So this area is quite wide. We wanted to get as many plants in here as we could, like all different fruit trees and stuff like that. So you know, this is just like clay when it started, so when it's wet it's just soggy mud, and when it's dry it's just rock hard. So it was quite took a lot of work to start getting stuff established here, but I mean you can see it's really starting to take off now, and like this is definitely one area where a lot of stuff we planted did die in the early years, but we just kept going and going and going, and it's kind of just evolved into this. I'd say the hardest thing, yeah, I've tried to keep a nice clear path of cutting the grass of where we're going to go through, but keeping the grass under control is hard work, like in such a large area. I think one thing, there's different ways of dealing with it. The easiest way is I just don't do anything, and then X's dad will come and clear it and feed it to the cows. Okay. But the disadvantage of that is just we're constantly removing organic matter away when it's like that's beneficial to regenerate the soil. So if I cut the grass, then I can put it all around the base of the trees, or like, or maybe sometimes I hire someone to help and stuff. But like, yeah, there's always the grass is a resource, so there's a little bit of a battle for it sometimes. But yeah.
And I've noticed, so in the surrounding area, you don't have many neighbours, right? So I guess there are neighbours farming that land. No problems with the neighbours, like you get on with them and...
No, so like a lot of them are family and stuff. So just behind us here, that's one of the cousins. He spends a lot of time there as well. He likes hanging out there, but like with friends, he's a great chef as well. And he's no problem if he comes here and just takes a few plants or ingredients or something, and then he'll come and give us some of the food that he's cooked. So it's like, yeah, it's there's ways of getting on with everyone. Like we have to consider that anything we do here does actually impact around as well, because like, well, the shade of the trees slows down the growth of the rice. Mm-hmm. And so yeah, that's why you have to be friendly, otherwise you're going to end up like getting in problems with people. We've got like a little lake that runs all the way down the side there, so we're planting lotus and other things in there, but it means that area has got much more moisture in it, so the rice field next to it now, where there's been so much rain, is really flooding. So it's a lot more work for the parents now, where they keep trying to replant, and like, you know, that's our fault for making that lake. So it's like, yeah,
finding the balance.
Yeah, and yeah, I guess so.
But it's not a sore point though, like everybody's cool.
Yeah, everybody's cool, but yeah, you have to, if you have a problem, hold it back. If they have a problem, they hold it back. It's kind of like, yeah, not everything's perfect, but you just kind of, you've got to accept that not everything's perfect. And yeah, I don't know, just day by day, like as long as, like, if we host some parties and have some drinks and stuff, then, you know, that solves everything. So you have fun sometimes, and then there's no problems.
Yeah. That's the East End Highway.
Yeah.
Is a lot of this, is this a lot of this is you, is it? Are you planting a lot of these trees and a lot of your hard work?
Yeah, it's not really hard work, because I do in the evening normally, or in the morning. Yeah, in the daytime I'm not doing. It's hard for me. Yeah, it's about 90%. I do. Only this banana, not mine. It's him, because it's not my idea.
Do you want to live here for the rest of your life, X? Do you want to, like, is this where you want to grow old together?
Yeah, I think so, because we should bear to living already. We should to do this thing already. We spend a lot of time to do this. I think so. I think we're living in here. Everything we do, everything we grow is for both of us is like it. And you know, like mango, this mango it tastes good. We just get it to grow. This kalangkao, that kalangkao, we go to the restaurant, they're cooking with some tom yum, they're quite good, so we buy them to grow them.
So you both have a lot in common as well. So you don't you have a similar idea of what you want to do with the place, right?
The first idea, I don't like to do this, but
now you change.
Yeah, now I'm changed, because if we do this thing, because this area before, no tree, just only right field, and then we just make everything. Now have a lot of tree. And
something I always ask everybody that I meet, all the couples I interview, is what do you love about Chris?
He is easy to live in here with me, because a lot of people they asking me like, how is Falang, they call Falang, how is Falang can living in Isan, it's hot, how can they eat this food, how can they stay here longer? For me, I think it's good luck, because he easy to living, he eating easy, he understand everything about people in here, and I try to teaching him also how to living in here. So yeah, he live here for a long time. I don't think he have any problem, only hot. Sometimes that's it.
And same question to Chris.
Yeah, I mean a lot. Like we've had a lot of fun. We both like traveling. We've been like all around Thailand and a bunch of other countries, and we like food. And it turns out we both like nature, and so it's like we have a lot in common and have good fun together. And I mean I also like how sort of adaptable we both are as well. That sort of that she could live down there where there was much more tourists and it was more a lifestyle that suited me. But then I come up here and I'm happy to live here. I think we're just it works well together.
Because it's important when you live out here in the middle of nowhere that you've got best friends and that you similar idea of what you want in life, right?
And I think also I quite like that she puts up with the crazy because I think one thing with here as well, I have many different ideas and I'll always say the ideas, but then we don't necessarily go through with them all. So it's like if I have 100 ideas, maybe one of them she'll go, yeah, okay, that's all right, we'll do that one. So
is that true, X? You crazy sometimes?
Yeah, he always thinking about do this thing, but for me I don't like to think a lot of things in my mind. I just say you can do everything you think, but one by one first. For me it's too much. I can't just okay do this thing and then turn around to do this thing or do that thing. No.
Perfect.
So yeah, this is kind of the final zone of the surrounding area. This was where we first started planting most stuff, and like with that like permaculture idea where you're supposed to have different zones, and like the zone furthest away from your house that is least accessible, that you just leave it a bit more to like nature, so that we wanted this area to just be a bit more like a forest. So like all of these trees, or most of these trees, are just like native hardwood trees and stuff. There's a few like flowering trees and things, but again it's all native, and we don't really do much here. We don't have to interfere with it much. Like I dug out this irrigation because like it gets really dry here, so I could like just come in and put about 20-30 buckets and it'd fill up the whole area, and that seemed to be enough. But other than that, I've just kind of left it really, and also thought that then we're nearly at our kind of prime location, that having this on the side of the sunset, that when you're over there that you see the sunset over your forest and flowers and all that, like I just thought it's
hopefully not an English pub. Hopefully not looking at that from an English pub.
There's options. Final stop before I go inside, just wanted to show right, this area here was kind of a little experiment as well, which was another experiment of X's. All these trees is the Yang Na trees. This is a native hardwood, and it's one that a lot of Thai people know that they have this symbiotic relationship with a particular kind of fungi that has delicious mushrooms. And she was following a guy on YouTube, also in Sisaket, where he was like making a culture of the fungi and mixing it with the sapling before being planted. You could see the culture growing in the solution in the bucket. Then when you applied it to the saplings, you could start to see little white spots of where it was growing, and these have shot up compared to where we've planted them in other places. So like, I mean, this is maybe a year old, and it's like we've got ones in the ground that has been in there for years that are half the size of this. So I really think it's working here. So it's something that, well, as I get better with the microscope, we could actually have a look at what's going on in the soil as well. But like, it's stuff like that that's really interesting. And another thing I wanted to say, like this termite mounds, like a lot of people you speak to are not going to be happy with termites, and I completely understand why. If you've got a wooden house, then they are a disaster. But like, they offer a lot of benefits as well. I mean, these structures that they build are full of so many little pathways that, and the same happens underground as well, that it's providing like more aerobic conditions, and the water can pass through easier, and they have their own relationships with specific species of fungi as well, which also helps the trees grow. So termites get a bit of a bad name, so I think, but it's worth mentioning the other side of how they can provide benefits as well. So these structures are just getting more and more, so there's good life going on in this whole area underground here, and you can see it by how fast these trees are growing. So this is stuff that I knew nothing about 4 years ago, but just by being here and finding out more and reading and looking on YouTube, you just start to practice more and more things, try new things, and some of them work and some of them don't, but this seems to be working.
And so this is the central island where for the future you plan to perhaps build something here. I think just looking at it and being here now for this short period of time, certainly a homestay Because really, there isn't that much in Sisaket, and there's not many places where foreigners can go and visit and really get a taste of the rural life. There's more popping up, I'm finding, doing this vlog and talking with different people. But yeah, a homestay in Sisaket could be very nice.
I can't make my mind up. I just can't make my mind up, really, because another thing I would like to do is to share it with people locally, and also to have a more reliable income, even though it might be less, is to have some affordable Thai food here. But I wondered if maybe we could split it in half. It's like, right, now you've seen sort of the context of all the surrounding environment, that this could be a prime location for something. Maybe it was like if we build the homestay in this half, but make sure it looks beautiful from over here, that if we had a little restaurant and stuff with garden that people could sit in, people love Instagram and taking their photos, so it could do its own marketing by just being in the background of everyone's photos. And I think also just to have Thai people here, it is just a more reliable long term. So that was the other thing with the tourism when COVID comes along. The companies that were
all Westerners, right?
Yeah, they all got screwed. But the ones that were either flexible to sort of switch their target audience, or already had like Thai tourists come in, some of them like thrived, really boomed, and it kind of changed the layout of the town. But I think whatever sort of instabilities, whether climate change or political problems or whatever it is, I think it's probably safer to have at least some kind of a Thai audience here as well. But yeah, at the same time, it would be really nice for tourists to come and see something completely different and like really experience like the food and the culture and all of that stuff as well. So yeah, it's like,
how far off do you think you are in that kind of development? When you say like it's planned for the future, do you mean in many, many years, or is it something you've got in the immediate future you're planning to do something?
I reckon maybe a couple of years. I reckon maybe 2 or 3 years. So I'm trying to learn how to do the compost, so we'll be able to grow more food. And so when I think I'm capable of that, then I think like if say there was a homestay that you had all the vegetable gardens out the front as well, that'd be an important part of it. So I need to learn some stuff more before I can do something like that. Also, I've been learning about like natural building, like adobe clay building and stuff like that. So I'm working with this farm stay in Ubon. They know how to do it. So I spend some time there, and we're going to maybe build a few little homestays there as practice, and also to try and promote the tourism in Ubon first, because they have an airport, they've got probably a few more like big famous locations and stuff. So I think if I'm going to try and promote tourism here, maybe the easier step is to try in Ubon first, see if it works, and then can come out, because Sisaket is probably more remote. It's not as far from Bangkok, but they've got better transport, better infrastructure for it. So yeah, a couple years, maybe 2-3 years.
Yeah, something to look forward to, isn't it? A project.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, so Chris and X, thank you so much for inviting me here. Looks like you got a really beautiful place set up, and looks like you're very happy here together. And Chris, I've been really impressed with all of your knowledge about the permaculture and how much of a keen interest you take in this topic. Like some of the conversations we've had off camera as well, some of the detail you go into, you can tell this is a passion for you, something that you really love to do. And it looks like X also has decided that it's her passion too. So thanks for letting me come and see your place. And just as a last question, anybody that's thinking about making the move to Thailand, what kind of advice would you give them if they were just thinking they're going to come out here, especially living in a rural area,
Well, yeah, I guess different things. Well, in any case, I'd say to do it step by step. So it's like just coming to Thailand. The first time I just spent 3 months here, and first times coming to Isan was just for a holiday, and first time living in Isan was in a condo with a swimming pool. So it's kind of like step by step to see if you're okay with it or not. Because I think if you just come straight into the deep end, it can be like culture shock. Yeah, a bit. It's too much of a change. So step by step, I think.
Well, thanks so much for inviting me today. It's been a real pleasure, and I'll say congratulations in advance if your wedding going to happen sometime soon.
Thank you.
So thanks a lot, guys, and take care.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So I've just parked up here in Boonsari Hotel. This is central Sisaket, and I'm going to be staying here tonight. There was a real range of hotels on offer. I think I looked at one called The Gallery. but it was like 4,000 baht a night, which I thought was a bit overkill, considering this Boon Seri was just 400 baht tonight, and it's smack bang in the centre, very close to the train station as well, and it's quite close to an English pub, I'm told, which I'm going to go and check out and hopefully get a bit of pub grub while I'm here. So that's a nice treat after today walking around the hot farm with Chris and X. Chris is actually going to be meeting me there as well, so we'll get a bite to eat, and I'll probably finish my little final thoughts of this vlog there at the hotel. First job, check into Boon Seri, check that the room is half decent. I guess I'll show you on here in case you're in central Sisaket for any particular reason, and then we'll head to the pub and have a little chat about my final thoughts, which has become a tradition in this vlog. So first impressions, very nice, very pink guys, so very girly hotel for sure. Looks like there's a little gym down there. I won't be using that because my stay is quite short. It's already nearly 6 p.m, so we're getting quite late, and so I'm actually on the 4th floor and they don't have an elevator, but one clever thing they did do is put how many calories you're burning on the stairs, which I guess offsets the disappointment of having no elevator and makes you feel good about yourself because you're burning them calories, right? So I think that's quite a good idea to keep the customers inspired. How many calories would I have lost? 30 calories coming up these stairs. Lovely, I'll go and put those back on at the English pub. And so here's the room, not bad at all. I think I must have booked a twin. I was in a bit of a rush. You can hear that I'm a bit out of breath having burnt those calories. And quite a quaint little room. 400 baht. Can't really argue with that, can you guys? So I think it's come decked out like some kind of English cottage. You got an ensuite, got a toilet, and even a little balcony. There you go, guys. I'll keep my eye on the car down there. And quite a panoramic view up here of central Sisaket. I do enjoy that with these vlogs I get to see these places. There would be no other reason for me to come to Sisaket, really. It's nice going talking to people and catching up with these people and getting to know their stories. Gives me a good excuse to come and see these places, and I suspect I'll be seeing every single province before this series is up. So I have mentioned before on the channel that many of these locations in Isan, all these different provinces, they look very similar. Only to the trained eye or somebody that really pays close attention would you be able to see where I am, and the subtle differences, some rabbits there, the subtle differences of the location. But I thought I'd show you a little bit anyway, because people do like to see these locations that I visit, and what better way to do that than to walk to the Old English pub, which is across the train tracks here, not a big walk. You can see it's quite a bustling little city, Sisaket. I'm about 30 minutes from where I just interviewed Chris and X, and so it is a little bit of a trek for them into the main town, but it's nothing too unmanageable. And I guess to sum up today, one thing that I really saw that really stood out for me in today's vlog is Chris is super interested in his particular topic of permaculture. You can see it's a real passion of his, and I guess that's what's really important to him. Scorpion there on the floor. It is a topic that's obviously very, very interesting to him, and so for him, he's really living his hobby, really living his interest and his passion, which I think is important if you're out here. If you don't have an interest or a passion or something that's keeping you busy, then you might get a little bit bored, but you can see that his eyes light up when he talks about permaculture and what they're doing with the land there. And so I think it is perfectly suited to his personality type, and it's good to see somebody doing what they love in life and making it work as well. Also, for him to be able to work remotely obviously is a big bonus, because it allows you to be where you want to be while still earning money and having time to do what you want to do, because that's what it's all about, right guys? Freedom. Even some of the people that I interview which are really focused on retiring, that's not much different to freedom. They love the freedom of the location, to be able to do what they want and build what they want and not have like crazy taxes on the land. And I just feel that a lot of the inspiration of people that come to live here is wrapped up around freedom. Finally, a lot of them are retiring and finishing the life in the 9-to-5 work. They've worked the whole life in order to get the pensions and whatnot, and now they're enjoying that freedom. And that's what this channel and this series is really about. I think it's what it's been about from the start, to be honest. Us as a family doing what we've done in our location, but also now seeing so many others. And to be honest, I've got a list as long as your arm, guys, of people that have got very unique and interesting stories, not just in the Isan area, but all around Thailand, that have reached out to me. And so it looks like it's going to be a busy schedule for this series in the coming months. If for yourself you're interested in sharing your story as well, if you're living in Thailand, you can get hold of me at expatinterviews@gmail.com. Unfortunately, I can't answer everybody's emails on that email. I get a lot of different emails through, and some of them are on, especially things on different topics, like I can't really answer from that email. But if you do have a story to share, stick it there and put your province in the subject matter. And if I don't contact you now, it'll be in the future. If I'm in that area, I can put you on my route. So anywhere now should be the English pub. It's called Leo's. On second thoughts as well, I think I was a bit dismissive about Chris's idea of an English pub. Sometimes, like you can be, I'm not the perfect person on these channels. I think I was a bit dismissive in it. You may have felt that yourself. Because later when he described to me what his plan was, I had to think about it. I'm like, actually that could be quite unique to have an English pub in the middle of an island, in the middle of in the middle of nowhere, because a lot of Thais do find it interesting. And like in Khao Yai, where they have the fake leaning Tower of Pisa and a lot of like the Italian architecture, for me personally, it's just a personal opinion, it's a bit cheesy. But Chris is correct in that the Thais really do. They love it. They love that kind of thing. And so maybe I was a bit dismissive at first, and I did chat with Chris afterwards, and I was like, you could be onto something if you wanted to create something unique as a destination venue, because it has to be out there. You're not like you've got any passing traffic at all, apart from a few chickens and some of the locals on the rice whiskey. So it would have to be a destination location where people come to, but I think that's not wholly inappropriate. And he has family there for staff and things like that. And I'm not talking about a huge operation, I'm talking about a little bit of fun maybe. So I don't know what your thoughts are on that. Could be either way, use your imagination. So I'll give you a quick look around this pub. It's been quite a long vlog, this one. So we'll finish it off with the cherry on top and have a look in Leo's English pub. So I suspect this is it here with the mural on the wall. Yeah, here it is. So we got Leo's in Sisaket. I imagine this is a place where many of the Sisaket expats know already. Looks like we got a bit of sport on in here as well, and a bit of a wine selection going on. So looking forward to getting some food here. I'm actually meeting Chris. He's going to be meeting me here to grab something to eat, and he's driving in especially for it. So Waddy Cap. Oh, wonderful decoration. Reminds me of my old saxophone lounge in Hue Hin, actually, because I used to have pictures of Aretha Franklin and B.B. King and the oldies, the golden oldies on the wall here. So you got Frank Sinatra, of course, all your football shirts. Very nice atmosphere, particularly at night. I'm a little bit early because it's daytime, and so look forward to seeing their food selection here. So it looks like they got some Black Angus beef cottage pie. That's lovely. Fisherman's pie, guys. I'm going to be having a pie for sure. Some sandwiches, burgers, pizza, and steak as well. So quite a lot to choose from. Where I live out in rural Buriram, I just don't get opportunity to have this kind of stuff, and so I can say I'm more than a little bit excited to try out the food. So I hope you've enjoyed today's vlog. As ever, if you've got any comments, questions, feedback about the vlog, please let me know in the comments. Always appreciate your feedback, and thanks for coming along on this journey. As I say many times on the channel, it's your viewership that makes this content possible, and so I'm enjoying it as much as I hope you guys are, and I'm enjoying meeting new people and seeing new places, and there's a lot more to come. So thanks a lot, and big thanks to Chris and X for sharing their story today. Stay well, guys.
Arizona garden, stucco in the heat. Let me take you dancing. let me get you on your feet. Arizona garden with my little cactus flower. Let the day slip away.